Hey everyone, it's Suriya, and I'm here in this my review for Kanguva, the new film directed by Suriya Siva and starring Suriya, Disha Patani, and also Bobby Deol in the lead roles. Now, there will be some spoilers in this review, so if you don't want to know anything about this movie, I'll give you an encapsulated review right now. Imagine if they mixed in Uramarivu, Arvan, Magadira, Apocalypto, and mixed it all together into one movie. That is pretty much Kanguva. This is a ferocious, ravenous, very loud, and very action-packed film, and I give it a 7 out of 10. The best things about this movie are definitely Suriya. He is the pillar and strength, and he's holding the whole film on his shoulders throughout. He is great here. The cinematography is excellent. I think that the sets and the locations are incredible. And I think that, the past sequences, the whole sequences where he's a warrior, those are the best portions of this film. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Go watch it whenever you can. And if you don't want to know anything else about this movie, stop this review right now because there will be some spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right off the bat, I want to talk about the positives. The biggest positive, obviously, I knew this before watching this movie, even though I'm a little bit biased because I am a big Suriya fan. Suriya is the biggest positive about this whole film. It's all in the eyes. His eyes are just glaring and very, filled with rage and fury, fire, whatever adjective you want to put into this. He is really good here. Again, I feel like he is shouldering a lot of weight in terms of the ample amount of story that's in this film. I feel like this movie is a tale of two parts. Obviously, they're planning on a second part, and I feel like this film is not going to be complete until we get to see that second part because there's a lot of plot lines that are not fulfilled yet by the end of the film. But pushing all of that aside, Suriya is carrying the weight of this movie throughout. He is shouting out loud. He is fighting with ferocious energy. He's jacked up. He has a lot of swagger, a lot of energy, a lot of poise here. He is pretty much the pillar of strength for this film. And if it were not Suriya in the lead role, I don't think this movie would have even worked in the first place. It's just good because of Suriya's efforts. And yeah, he deserves a lot of kudos. I can't wait to see what he has in store for the next part. But yeah, the historical portions are his main bread and butter in this film. I feel like the present day portions weren't that great in terms of performance. It's not really a performance oriented kind of role, but it's the past historical portions that really get to see Suriya's strengths as an actor. And again, fantastic performance. The other pillar of strength of this film is the production design, the cinematography, and just the locations in general. Some of the sets in this film are incredible and very vast and just intricate. I loved the tribal nation set that they used for Suriya's clan. I think that it was incredible to look at, and it was really well designed, and I just was really brought into this world. I really believed that, okay, I was watching this nation from a past world, and it felt like Aravan. If you've never seen Aravan before, please do. It's a pretty good movie. It felt like Aravan on steroids. So if you've seen that film, think of it on steroids, and that is pretty much the sets in this film. The cinematography is incredible here too. I love the way that every location and every island that is within the story was popping in terms of color. The cannibalistic villain clan, they had this orange and red popping color out. Suriya's clan has this bluish tinge towards it, and that color is popping out. There's a lot of green. There's a wintry scene, which is one of my favorite scenes in this whole film. It just the way that they captured the snow and the mist and just everything. Cinematographer deserves a lot of credit. Incredible work. Locations too. The locations make you believe that this is more than just a set. I feel like they've shot on location in multiple countries. So yeah, it gives credence towards the story of making you believe that, okay, this is a historical event happening in these multiple islands. It makes you really believe that you're watching a historical fantasy film. So those are the mega positives about this movie. Suriya, the sets, the production design, and cinematography. All right, I gotta also say that I'm not really a big Suriya Siva fan. I've never really loved his films. The only two movies that I really liked in his whole entire Tamil cinema career is Suriya and Veeram. The other films are not that entertaining to me, in my personal opinion. They're not my kind of cup of tea, but, I digress. A lot of people love his films. They're just not my cup of tea. But again, I digress. Kanguva, in my personal opinion, is probably his best ever work. But again, I feel like it's incomplete because it's still relying on the second part to explain and kind of further flesh out the plot lines that are not fulfilled in this movie. Yes, he's bringing in Karthi and he's bringing in this like huge idea for the second film. And I like the idea where they're going with, but I just feel like the present day portions were not fleshed out as much as I wanted them to. The beginning present day portions were a little too cartoony and a little too gimmicky, and I just didn't like it. The historical portions, if that were the whole movie, I would have loved this even more. Actually, I didn't even need the present day portions. If this movie were just the past portions for the whole movie, I think it would have been a way better film, in my personal opinion. I felt like the whole Magadira type of like situation where like the past and the present are kind of connecting was interesting, but it didn't get fleshed out by the end of the film. Again, I feel like there was a lot to be desired, and again, I feel like Suriya Siva is keeping all of that for the next movie, but I think he should have not gone ahead of himself and just focused on this film alone, and then if the film became successful, continue on with another movie. But yeah, with Karthi in the cards for the next film in terms of his past and present character being the villain, it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. His character was really great in that last 5 minutes or so. But yeah, I just have mixed feelings about this movie outside of those big positives that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, overall, this movie is good. I wouldn't say great. And I forgot one minus about this movie. This movie is super loud. And I'm not even trying to joke around. My ears are ringing after watching this movie. It is extremely loud. A lot of the dialogue is being shouted out, and the action sequences, the music is cranked to more than if there's a scale for the volume to go from 1 to 10, it's at like 100. It is loud. It is freaking loud. I really hope that for the next film they kind of tone down the sound a little bit. But yeah, again, Kanguva is a good movie. I have to congratulate the team because they put a lot of work into this movie. It shows. The amount of work that they put into this is excellent. But again, I feel like they're reliant on the second part explaining and fleshing out the story through towards like a conclusion. But yeah, again, Kanguva is a decent watch. I think that it is action-packed and thrilling from start to finish. It's never boring, but I just feel like it could have been a little bit better. But that's just my personal opinion. Overall, it's still a good movie. 7 out of 10. It's going to entertain you. But yeah, it's just that Suriya Siva's directional style is not really my cup of tea. But this is his best work, in my personal opinion. So yeah, that's my review of Kanguva. I hope you do like it once you've seen it. And once you see the film, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the movie.